Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SOS. That's what it said, SOS. That might mean that you are a student of Stan. You know, Stan the man, the coach man, the radio man, Stan with the plan. That could be. Now, of course, SOS usually means, what does it mean? No, it doesn't mean save our ship or maybe save our soul. It simply was the thing that got attention because it was three dots, three dashes and three dots, and it simply means help. We need some help. We need a little help down here. Which, by the way, is very much related to the idea that we're going to talk about today because I oftentimes say SOS is kind of a short prayer. We could use a little help down here. Well, there we are, SOS. The title is meant to catch your attention. Kind of the clickbait thing, I admit, but this has a serious point to it because we are on Friday, which is the Transformation Project program. We now call it perhaps Welcome to the Transformation Zone because what we want to do is take time to think about what does it mean? How can we do it? Lots of things don't need changing as much as they need a full transformation. Perhaps in our politics, in our sociology, in the way we do things that are part of life and business, we just need transformations. And we believe that's true, and we want to get better at it by beginning to transform ourselves as best we can or be open to that transformation. And if we are fully transformed, maybe we can be at a place and space where we can help others be transformed, perhaps guide transformations in terms of the businesses we do, the organizations we build, and how we live and do life together. So that's what the program is all about, and it begins right now. Again, the title, as I said, was a little bit of clickbait, but yes, that's what I said. Every morning, you should clean your own toilet. Now, where did that come from? Well, in a part of my history teaching and research, I did a lot of work within the situation where India, that huge population place, which was very much of a colony of Great Britain. In the 20th century, Mohandas Gandhi, the Gandhi, known just basically by Gandhi, led a transformation in where India became independent. And it was an incredible transformation. Unfortunately, it had some very, very, very good, but a lot of very, very bad things that came out of that. What happened was that when the British rule in 1947 came to an end, unfortunately, India was thrown into a terrible civil war between the Muslims and the Hindus. I mean, millions of people perished in the War of Independence, which actually led to the separation from India that became the country of Pakistan, which didn't really exist that much until India became free and the Muslim population declared themselves independent of that. Then later on, a group of, again, Muslims, but they decided they didn't want to be a part of Pakistan, and they declared the country of Bangladesh. Oh, what a mess life can be, and politics can be, and transformations can be very, very positive, and they can be very, very negative, and certainly bloody and bad. But here is the point. Gandhi very, very much wanted to change not only the who runs India, but how India was run. And even though he was very much within the Hindu tradition, there was something about the Hindu religion which he was not happy with. And of course, it's still a problem in Indian society today, but far less so than it was. And that is the system of the caste system. Whereas there is the top caste, the Brahmins, the elite. And then it goes down. And finally, you get to the people who have no caste. They're not only low caste, they're no caste. The untouchables. And in some cases, the unseeables. And that has pervaded traditionally throughout Indian society. Well, in Indian society, it was very, very common that if you were anything above an untouchable, you didn't clean your toilet. Yes, toilets need cleaning. You would have an untouchable clean your toilet. And that's how some of them made the meager living they did, cleaning other people's toilet. What Gandhi did is he said to his followers, who tended to be of a variety of castes, but many of them were intellectuals and high society, and he said to them, every morning I get up and I clean my own toilet. Yeah, all that implies. I clean my own toilet. And he said to his followers, you should do likewise. Now, that was shocking. Well, of course, it would be shocking to a number of people in our own society today. Well, I don't clean the toilet. That's what we have janitors for. That's what we have homemakers for. That's what somebody else does. Well, somebody has to clean the toilet. And Gandhi said, and it should be you. And of course, what he was doing was very subtly, but not so subtly, saying, you know what? We're going to start breaking down this system of barriers, caste discrimination systems. Yes. And we're going to start to kind of humble you, bring you down a little bit, try to bring a little more equality into our culture. You're going to do your own toilets. And I've actually decided that's probably a pretty good idea. It's not the job of my wife, and it's not the job of a housekeeper if we had one, and we have had one, just simply in a smaller place, don't need one. But guess what? It's a good, humbling idea to know that you should clean your own toilet. You clean it. What goes into that? Clean your own toilet. And perhaps do it every morning. Just a little sign that you have identified with what life might be about. There we go. Think about that. And then let's talk a little bit about Clint Eastwood and his prayer. And what could that be? I'm Stan Houston. The program is the Transformation Project, the Transformation Zone. And we'll continue. We'll be right back. Clint Eastwood is quite a character. Now, I can use him in a variety of ways. First of all, Clint Eastwood is now in his 90s, and he's still working. Uh, he obviously has been in show business probably, 40, 50, maybe 60 years. And he's been a variety of characters in a variety of ways, and there's a lot about him that people don't like, and there's a lot about him that people love. He's played the tough guy roles. Now, his most famous character is Dirty Harry. Now, Dirty Harry is a cop, a tough cop. A BA, a bad you-know-what cop. He goes real hard on the bad guys, and he presses the edges of how he should act. And so he's the kind of guy that the chief of police says, oh, how do we keep him from, we got to have him because he's really good. He gets the bad guys, but sometimes he's out of bounds, and that's the part he played. And in one of his most famous lines, which some of you already know where this is going, he's got the drop on a bad guy who also has a gun in his hand. Now, who's going to shoot first, or is the bad guy going to drop his gun and give up because his gun isn't pointed directly at Harry, and Harry's gun is pointed directly at him? And you can see the tension. Who will surrender? Will he drop his gun? And of course, the line that Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood, uses, he says, go ahead, punk. Try it. Make my day. Yeah. Try it, and I'll shoot you. And that will make my day. That's the story. And many of you know it, and you even knew it was coming. Well, here's a little bit of my thought about that. I thought about that, and I just love the drama involved in it. It's iconic. It's a signature line. But the more I thought about it, I said, you know what? That's really a good expression. And in my own faith, I almost came to say, that's like a prayer. Saying to God, my transcendent, hey, you know what? There's a lot of things out of my control. Hey, what are the plans for the day? You just simply say to the providence, to the God you worship, to the faith you practice, hey, you make my day. And we'll see what happens. And so I have actually used that quite often in my own thoughts about life and business. All right, make my day. And I know that a number of people have told me that in the morning, first thing in the morning, that's what they say. Maybe you do that while you're cleaning your toilet. You simply pray the 3-word prayer, make my day. Well, I do that quite often, and so I share that with you. And in effect, that's giving both myself and the powers that be, okay, I'm not in control. I'm not in charge. I'll be humble enough to say, you take control, you take charge, you make my day. And whatever happens, okay, we'll go with it. If it isn't what we want, we'll go with it. If it's bad, we'll endure it and try and fix it and find out why. Make my day. On the other hand, it also says, part of how I make my day is up to me. And so one of the challenges I will give you is this. What are some of the rituals and the other things you do quite intentionally to make your own day? I always get up every morning and drink a large glass of water, which means I will drink less coffee and it will help me in terms of hydration. It sets me up. Now, there are other things that I do that are a part of how I make my day, and part of them relate to the fact that every evening I take time, sometime after 5 o'clock usually, to get ready for the next day. I think about it. I write things down. I remember. I pray about the day that's before me. Because even though I may pray make my day, the people who will make a difference in life are those who will also take responsibility for how they do make the day. It's not an accident. It's intentional. As one of my mentors said, if you don't know what you're going to do in the morning before you get up or after you get up, don't get up until you know what you're going to do that day. And it has been demonstrated that people who have an early morning start with a plan for the day are usually much more effective in the work they do for the day. What do you know and what do you say? This will make my day. I have to make sure that when I get done with the day, this is what I have accomplished. And then at the end of the day, you give thanks for the day that has been made with you and for you. That's kind of your good night prayer. Thank you for making my day. Let's do it again tomorrow. I'm Stan Houston. Just some thoughts for Transformation Zone people, for Transformation Zone thinking. We'll be right back. Well, as many of you know, we are working with my friend Joe Pine, who now is going to write the book on transformation, the world of the economy of transformation, the transformation economy. And that book is going to be written, and many of us are helping to help him write it by going to transformationsbook.substack.com. That's transformationsbook.substack.com, and see how he is writing it, and you can read from it and learn from it, and then you can even make a contribution, be a part of writing the transformation book, because it's going to be written in a very different, very transformational way. I'm Stan Houston. Reach out to me. We'd love to have you on your program. Next week, we're going to have a gentleman who is close. It could be that finally maybe we can find a way to have that terrible disease, ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, which literally all of the nerves of people go apart and eventually people just suffocate to death because nothing works in their bodies. Terrible way, terrible disease, terrible way to die. And he has a way that maybe we can now begin to do something more about that. And he has a wonderful story, and I hope you will listen to it because it could be one of the transformational events in medicine happening right now as we speak, as we work. So that's for next week. Reach out to me, stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. And this is serious. All the best and blessings to you. And as best as you can, make it a good day. And take apart responsibility for that yourself. And of course, then give the rest up to the power or the person who might even know better than you what will make a good day. Just let that sit on your head for a while. Take care. Bye for now.